Excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
Please come in.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Come,
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir.
Please come. Take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
How are you, Mr. Arun?
I'm fine, sir. Good evening, sir.
Welcome you and make a brief introduction about you to the government.
Sir, I'm Arun from Kanchipuram district of Tamil Nadu state. I'm a graduate in mechanical engineering. I started my profession as a mechanical design engineer. After a short span of time, I started preparing for a UPSC Civil Service examination in 2018. And currently, I'm part of a Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Fellowship Program, where I am associated with the Water Resources Department of Government of Tamil Nadu. My hobbies are reading non-fictional books and playing football.
Good. What are,
Sir.
everybody was talking about linking of rivers,
Yes, sir.
right? Throughout the country, there's a kind of a clamor. People are. Now, there is some kind of opinion against linking of rivers. As a kind of person now who are doing that kind of a work, do you think that linking of rivers is still necessary, feasible, or can we change our opinion?
Sir, recently also central government has proposed interlinking of rivers, linking Godavari with Kaveri, which is the anvil. So I feel linking of rivers is necessary since rivers of South India are semi-perennial. Even in case of Tamil Nadu, we have Kaveri and Tamarabarni rivers, which are non-perennial rivers. They are seasonal in nature, and when there is ample amount of rainfall in the catchment areas of Kaveri or in Tamarabarni, we can receive water.
Okay, linking of rivers is environmentally, some say it is incorrect.
There are concerns about environmental degradation because the proposers say that decentralized water augmentation is more preferable than interlinking of waters, which can shift a huge amount of population as well as affect the environmental biodiversity, since we are to create channels that will pass through several hectares of forest lands, and land acquisition will be another problem where it will result in mounting of cases in the courts. So the feasibility of interlinking is another question, but interlinking can provide a sustained source of water which is scarce for southern states like Tamil Nadu or Andhra, because we follow.
Basic data will be flow of water in a river.
Sure.
Is it possible to catch the exact amount of water that flows in a river in case of a seasonal rivers?
Sir, with respect to realization of water in a channel, in a river channel, we need to take into account of the geophysical characteristics of the channel, geophysical characteristics of the geography in which the channel passes through. It is very obvious that percolation of water in the channel is very obvious, and the water seepage, both in lateral as well as the horizontal seepage, will be present, and there will be numerous check dams and reservoirs we have built. Based on it, we will be diverting water to across many territories. So water loss, the realization of water that is flowing in the channel cannot be realized in 100%. There will be evaporation loss also. Even if you go for a lined channel as like Krishna Water Canal, it is completely lined channel. The evaporation loss for a 15 TMC water is estimated as 3 TMC. As mentioned, that providing economic criteria as a separate class is not ultra virus to the basic structure of the constitution. From that judgment, we can infer that the reservation policy need a overhaul.
Okay, so if you are made the secretary of say social welfare department and you are asked to suggest some new method for social justice or to make people equal or equality, to bring equality in society, tell me 2-3 steps you will suggest instead of reservation the way it is going on right now.
Sir, with respect to reservation, as a secretary of social justice department, I will be associated with OBCs, SCs and STs. In OBCs, there are several castes that are left underprivileged. they are in the bracket of OBCs, but they will stay at the bottom of the pyramid. So internal legislation, reservation within reservation should be provided among the OBCs. Though in Mandal Commission case, this should not be practiced for SCs and STs. Alternative mechanism of considering economic criteria or a land holding size, employment of occupations of parents, father and mother, can be used for SCs and STs. And in Tamil Nadu, there is a separate caste called Arundhatiya, who has given a separate reservation, who constitute the part of SCs. Such modus operandi can be applied for SCs and STs, where the most privileged sections of that list can be given less amount of reservation, and the underprivileged will be given more importance.
But you are saying that even for them also we should give reservation.
Yes, sir.
Do you think any community in this country has actually grown good enough to be excluded from the list in the last 75 years?
Sir, to ensure equity, we have to allocate the resources that is very finite based on our requirements, sir. We can say that not every class has grown to such level, but we have to allocate the resources in some way that ensures social and economic justice.
No, I agree what you say. I am asking, do you think any community in this country, or maybe in Tamil Nadu, after receiving reservation for the last 75 years, has qualified enough to be said that okay, now they don't require reservation anymore?
Sir, I think I do not have any clear factual evidence to claim that, sir. So I would say no, sir.
No community.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Arun.
Sir?
See, your father worked with the TNSTC, right?
Yes, sir.
See, that corporation is said to be a law-making corporation, a loss-making corporation.
Yes, sir.
They are not in a position to settle the retirement benefit also.
Yes, sir.
But recently, the government of Tamil Nadu allowed free transport facility to the women of the state. Okay, do you think it is rational on the part of the state to do so when their corporation itself is incurring a huge loss?
Yes, sir. TNSTC is a corporation. The profit and loss is associated with the corporation, sir. But the government's move on providing free buses to women is a welcome move that reduces the monthly spending of a working woman. State Planning Commission has come out with the fact that about 888 rupees per month has been saved by a single woman who travels in the city. So for a woman whose average income is around 10,000, it is a saving of about 9%, which will add up to their savings or any consumption. It will definitely contribute to the economy in terms of consumption expenditure or any other expenditure. It will definitely come to the economy. With respect to TNSTC losses, it is the losses that are due to O&M costs, high O&M costs. The fleet is highly aging, so we cannot replace the buses often. That is one thing, and there are a huge amount of labor force are involved in the TNSTC than what is required. And TNSTC provides transportation services to its citizens. So it is not a commercial activity on the part of the state government, though the taxes of the citizens is being financed to run TNSTC. It provides services of connecting every citizen from every part of the state to the mainland. So we can see it as a service providing corporation instead of some commercial corporation.
So recent Hindenburg report,
Yes, sir.
and after which the sharp fall in the share prices of Adani Enterprises and other Adani Group companies in share market. What is your stand? Is there any merit in the report which has been published by Hindenburg?
Sir, Hindenburg is a private organization that is housed in a country, it is in a western country. It is not an authenticated organization or a government body to stake any claim on such reports. It is not an official body to claim such reports. If it is from our Comptroller and Auditor General or any other official,
Do you think CAT can audit the report of private companies?
sir, if President mandates him, he can audit the reports of corporates also, sir.
So do you think that President should mandate CAT to audit Adani's books?
So it is up to the government, union government and President. And
No, what's your opinion?
so it need not be, sir. I think CAG has more responsibility than to audit on corporate.
What should be the response of government to this whole issue, Adani episode?
So the government, RBI and the central government have expressed their view that the stakes that State Bank of India or LIC, which is holding with respect to Adani's group, is less than 1%, and the public money is protected by the houses LIC and SBI, and it is the fall of market shares or the credits that are gained by the corporates are part of business activity, and as a state we need not to delve deep into it. We need a free market. We are practicing a free market economy where corporates are given fair chances and free chances to run their businesses. If we go for a particular for this, if we well our heads with this particular case, we will be dealing with each and every corporate in the country, and it will be a very authoritative economic authoritative rule. We go for a free market economy. That will be against our policy.
Okay, you play football.
Yes, sir.
Why is it so that this is one game which is played in every nook and corner of this country, in villages as well, yet a country of 1.4 billion is not able to qualify for FIFA World Cup?
Sir, it is the exposure of the game for the players as well as to the audience. We do not have any local leagues. For instance, in my village, there are local leagues conducted for cricket, but there is no local league for football. The league should be conducted at the village, zonal, district, regional levels, and it will be translated to national and international levels. We have international friendlies, but there are very less number of international friendlies played by our national team. Similarly, that exposure for the players at different leagues should be developed, and exposure of audience should be, yes sir, league format should be restructured, and the exposure of the audience, for instance, the audience are not exposed to various football leagues in the country as well. The football leagues are not telecasted in the channels, and audience are less receptive to the game because they find it difficult to understand the game because of their less exposure. And we need private participation in investment of developing football infrastructure. For that, the initial push should be given by the government so that the private sector can come in. For that, we need to develop a football infrastructure in terms of stadiums, grounds, training facilities. For that, we need huge investment from the government in every region or every district. These are the necessities. If we follow this meticulously, we will reach even the FIFA finals in 20 to 25 years down the line. There is a healthy nexus, sir.
Healthy nexus,
Yes, sir. Because corporates are treated as stakeholders in our economic development. Our finance minister has mentioned in our previous budgets that to treat the corporates not as villains of economy, but as healthy stakeholders who strive forward our economic growth. Even we talk largely about the philanthropic activities of Tatas, who are big capitalists. We often mention them as industrialists instead of capitalists. In the same manner, we can take a positive step on corporates in their agenda on economic development of the country also.